Hey everybody, it is Billy at BTUFF, man. Today we are talking about racing simulators. That's right. Over the last few weeks, I've had a couple of people ask me how much it costs to put one together. We're gonna go over that. We're gonna talk about different options you can do to keep them inexpensive and affordable, but yet still have that racing experience. All right, man, let's check it out. So a little bit about me, I've been racing for 20 years, dirt tracks. I'm still racing now. And I've also been a gamer, man, from Atari 2600, man, back in the day. So I've been in it forever. I've always loved racing games, of course. And a few years ago, I kind of saw iRacing and I was like, whoa, what is this? Because it was the first time that I felt like, okay, wait a minute here. This is circle track racing and it actually feels real. And that was like something that, you know, I'd always played the NASCAR games on the old Xboxes and stuff, but this was the first time that I had gotten in on sim racing. You know, even from the ground floor, I was looking at it, I was like, whoa, there's something to this. And then I started looking into it more and I saw that there was all this stuff that people were doing that was making the racing experience real. I mean, you had racers like Tony Stewart, Dale Earnhardt Jr., I mean, the list goes on, man. There was a long list of top-notch NASCAR dirt racers that were showing up and competing heavily on sim racing. So the basic cost of a Playseat simulator base, which is just basically the thing you sit on and a place to put the pedals, is going to be about $349. A G29 wheel, which is a decent base wheel, is going to run you about $240. Now that comes with the pedals and a flip shifter. I don't know if it has a gear shifter. It might, but I know that it has the pedals and the steering wheel. So the next question is, do these pedals and steering wheels feel real? Not really. I mean, they get the job done. They turn left, right, and the pedals are usually really soft, but you can definitely tell the difference between a real car and what these feel like. Let's take a look at the steering wheel that I use. I use a steering wheel from Fanatec called the Club Sport Racing Wheel V2.5 GT Forza. It is a very good wheel. I've never used it on the Xbox, but it will work on Xbox or PC. It is very strong, very accurate. It is very good. It feels like a real racing wheel, or as close as you're going to be able to get to one without having it in a car, and you can actually fine tune it big time. I mean, there's a lot of adjustments, a lot of digital adjustments on it that you can do. It is a breakaway wheel. That means you can take the steering wheel off and on, kind of like a real race car, which makes it really good if you have a simulator that is tight to get in and out of, which I have, but I'm able to barely get out without having to take it off. I'll take it off sometimes. If I have bigger guests come in, sometimes they have to take it off to get in and out. But it's a very nice piece here. It's been very reliable. I've been using it for 2 years and I've had no problems with it at all. Okay, so let's get into it. What does this cost? The base unit by itself, that's not anything but the base of the steering wheel package, is $550. Yes, that is not cheap. In fact, that is more expensive than the steering wheel, gas pedals, and shifters of the earlier stuff we talked about. And you still have to get the Club Sport wheel hub for it, right? Which is all the digital components and it slides onto it and has the paddle shifters hooked up to it. That unit is $350. So when you add those together, our total is $900. And that is without a steering wheel. You have to put your own steering wheel on. Now, if you can make one of your, like a race, if you have a race wheel and you can modify it to get that 6-bolt pattern in, then you can just use that. I went on eBay and got a nice Sparco wheel for under 50 bucks. It feels pretty realistic to what I use in my race car. It's the same diameter, it's got the same feel, it's nice and thick. So you can use whatever you want. You can save a little money if you want to buy the pieces separately, or you can buy everything together, which includes the wheel from Fanatec, for $1,000. Let's get into the pedals. I use the inverted V3 pedal system from Fanatec. It is very good stuff. Feels just like a Tilton or a Willwood brake. A lot of adjustment. You can adjust it with the puck kit that they sell, and then you can fine tune it with cams. It is very good. I would say it's about as real as you can get. I mean, it really does feel like the real thing. So how much is this? Not the cheapest thing. These come in at about $600, which is quite a bit more, as we talked about, than the entire kit, right? But it is part of the simulation. I mean, when you are racing and you have this, it just feels real. So is it worth it? If you're into it, it's worth it. Okay, let's make our way to the back and look at the transducers or butt kicker system. Here I have 4 units. Each one is located at each corner of this simulator. You can go into programs that control all of these, and it actually will work the suspension. So like, let's say the right front goes over a bump while the right front would vibrate. You can have the front ones simulate the engine and the transmissions and all that stuff. And I would say that the butt kickers are probably more important than the motion. When they're off, it feels definitely like you're losing something big. I mean, it feels like it's broken when those aren't working. And like I said, when those things hit, when you shift it and those things bump, I mean, it feels like a real transmission. It feels real. I mean, you can feel the engine, man. It's like, you know, it just brings everything to life, and it's really hard to understand until you have those hooked up. What's nice about them too is they're not sound systems, so they don't blare out super loud. You feel it, but you don't hear it. And yeah, they're definitely important. When it comes to cost, the butt kicker is actually very affordable. Comes in at $150. That comes with an amp and a butt kicker and a remote. One is really all you need. 4 is nice. Actually, 2 would be really nice. 1 to the front and 1 to the back. That way your feet can feel the engines and your butt can feel the track. It's gonna make a huge difference. If you have the money, having 4, 1 on each corner is even better. So I have 4 times 150, $600. Let's get into the most expensive component on this unit, and that is the Next Level Motion. I never would have thought that I would have a motion simulator in my house. One of the things that helped me pull the trigger was its size. It doesn't take up a lot of room, it's quiet, and I thought it would fit my simulator, which it did, as you can see. So do you need the Next Level Motion? No, you don't, but it is gonna give you more of an experience when it comes to braking, acceleration, and roll. All that stuff comes into play. It's basically a G-force simulator. So how much? Hang on, this one's not cheap. $2,800 for the motion simulator. The biggest upgrade that you can do for iRacing or any of the racing games is VR, period. It takes something that feels like a video game and it makes it feel real. And I know that's hard to understand until you slip it on and you feel it and you look around, because when you're playing on a screen or even a triple screen, you're still in a 2D environment. That means when you go through the corners, the whole room isn't rolling over, just the screen is. So you're not really in this real environment, but VR is very real, and it will get some people seasick. It's that real. Now, you can save a lot of money. One, you don't need a big screen. You only need a screen to navigate through iRacing. So really you can save on the screen, just get yourself a low-dollar screen, and then the Oculus, I would get the first version of Oculus, which has headphones built into it, because the new Oculus doesn't have headphones built into it. You can't hear very good at all. The blacks look like grays. All I can tell you is that the first Oculus is better, period. So the Oculus comes in at $399. My TV came in at $1299, but you should be able to get one for $200. So let's get to the heart of this system. That is the computer. I use the ASUS, I don't know if it's the ASUS G20. I wanted something that was more like an all-in-one system, more like an Xbox. I'm not a PC guy, I don't know how to work on them. I just wanted something that I could plug things in and it works. And this is probably as close as you're gonna get to that. So the ASUS G20 comes in about $1250. It's fully capable of running Oculus, and that's one thing that you have to be careful of. You wanna make sure that you get a computer that can run that, because it takes a lot more computer to run something in a 360 world than it does something in a 2D world. So try to get as much computer as you can, and you may be able to build it for cheaper, but I spent $1250. So the trickiest thing on this build was this rolling platform idea, right? I wanted something that I could move around our house. I mean, this is in our living room, and our Christmas tree goes right here in the Christmas season, so I have to be able to move this thing around, and I can't pull like 400 pounds around the house. So I made a rolling platform. It works very good. 6 caster wheels underneath the diamond plate that's reinforced with particle board 3/4 inch. On the back you'll see 1.25 inch tubing that I made an H pattern out of, and that mounts the TV set that is bolted to the platform on the bottom. I got some weight clamps from the local race shop that actually clamp onto that 1.25 inch and hold the plates in the back. It also holds the television mount and all that. So how much do we have in this? Well, let's see here. The diamond plate base with the back pieces, probably about, oh man, I don't know, $250. In the particle board, I probably got another $50 on the bottom. And in the wheels, I probably got another, let's just say 50. So let's just say $350 in the rolling unit. Add another $50 for tubing and weight clamps. So the rolling unit plus the back pieces, probably about $400. So I wanted to make sure that this thing was very organized, and we did that pretty good with the Velcro straps that we use. I like the Velcro straps because unlike tie wraps, you can reuse them and take them off in case you have to change something. Also too, we have a few power strips on this deal, and really there's only one wire that comes out from it. So when you're looking at it from our living room, all you see is one wire. You don't see anything else. So all the connections, all the wires and Velcros and all that stuff, probably about $200. So I picked up this Fanatec shifter. It is a very good shifter. Feels like the real deal. Comes with a couple different knobs, and it just feels like metal on metal. And I wasn't sure how I was gonna mount it though. So I ended up mounting it directly to the seat, and it worked out perfect. Real clean, real simple, moves with me when I'm moving around. Yeah, so it worked out real good. So the price of the shifter is $199, and the price of the metal is another $25. So we'll just say $225. So for the seat, I decided to go with a real containment seat. I have these in my dirt cars, and they work really good. I wanted to have the real feeling of a race car. And plus the containment seat really helps with the motion when it's rolling over and stuff. It really holds you in place good. So the price of the seat is $500. So I picked up this Bose Soundbar. I actually thought I would use it more than I do. I do every once in a while, but I really don't, because the Rift headphones are plenty loud enough, and the butt kickers make it plenty, like the feel is really good. So you really don't need this Bose Soundbar, but I did spend $300 on it. Okay, so here we go, man. Added everything up. I don't think I've ever added this up before. It's kind of scary when I see it all come together, but anyway, the total price for everything is $10,380. Man, that is a big paycheck right there. But I will say this, putting things in perspective, I have built $12,000 engines that I have put in my Pro Stock and blew up on night one. Okay, so yeah, it is expensive, but relative to what I do with auto racing, it's a pretty good deal, because I crash and I hit the reset button, right? I'm not spending another $2,500 on a weekend to fix repairs. You know, I'm not buying new tires, and I've had this for a year and a half, and it works as good as the day I got it, and I get these awesome racing experiences, and iRacing is getting better and better, and it looks more realistic, and they're going to have new VRs in the future, so this thing's going to continue to get better and better, and it's the gift that keeps on giving. So there you go. And if you know this thing too, man, you could really probably cut down $5,000 out of it if you took away the motion and you used race seat and you used one transducer instead of a whole bunch. I mean, there's definitely ways to cut down on this. So, but that is it, man. I told you I would add it all up, and people have asked me what I have into it, and it is a lot of money, but in the grand scheme of things, things that are cool usually cost money. So there you go. There's a look at my racing simulator. This is Billy at BTUFF.